I think the late Roger Ebert said it best in regards to filmmaking, stating, "It's not what a movie is about, it's how it is about it." What makes this quote so great is that it respects the intentionality behind filmmaking. It respects the fact that there is an approach that filmmakers take when they make their movies, when they tell their stories, and that filmmakers can hope that they leave an impression on an audience, that when an audience leaves the theater, that they're not just thinking, wow, that movie was cool because it was about this, that they're thinking, wow, that movie was cool because it did this. It told the story this way. It's cool that Luke is Darth Vader's father. Or wrong. It is cool that Luke is Darth Vader's son. But the fact that we learned it through such drama, through so much power and emotion, that's what's crazy about it. And so what I want to say is the first motion picture was of a man sneezing. And this was called Fred's Ought Sneeze. And this was the first motion picture to ever be copyrighted in the United States. And let's just think about how much has happened since then. We had some big films in the early 1900s that shaped film. So there was Metropolis and Citizen Kane and various others. But now, when we flash forward at least 100 years later, we see movies everywhere. They're a huge part of culture. I mean, let's think about the Marvel films. Let's think about the Star Wars movies. James Bond. There's franchises upon franchises of movies. And that's because movies are relevant. They've grown. And I mean, even think about this class right now. I had to watch the film Good Will Hunting for an assignment. And that's a movie, and I watched that to turn in an assignment for this class. So that just shows how relevant movies are. And then I love movies. I have loved movies all my life. I'm going to study film next year. I even have a little bit of experience with low-budget filmmaking myself. I have a passion for it. And so when I see movies, I see something that's important. And that leads me into my thesis, and that's through its compelling ability to transport an audience. The fact that it can encourage deeper thinking on a personal level and even shape the future of a generation. Film is a medium that is essential to society today. So the first thing that we need to realize is that movies do something essential, and that is that they can transport an audience. So let's think about this. On a simplistic level, movies need to do one simple thing, and that is to entertain. But I think what people don't realize is that entertainment is easy. Because I can go on Snapchat right now, I can go on Twitter right now, I can go on Facebook, and I can be entertained. And there's no thought there. I just open up my phone, I scroll, and I'm happy for 15 minutes. But what movies should be able to do is go on a deeper level, and that's transport an audience. What happens when there's a thriving world, when there's truly fleshed out characters, when there's a story that has truly been developed, and I lose myself? I am completely immersed in this experience, and I don't think about the world around me, I think about the world that's in front of me. That's what a movie should do when it transports. I think that writer Nathan Rowe really emphasizes this perfectly, and he talks about the fact that movies are great. He loves comic book movies because they have all these visuals, and there's the music and the spectacle of it all. And he's completely immersed in this experience because he's not thinking about anything else. And all these things come together through the hard work of the filmmaker, kind of going back to how the movie is about it, that really immersed him. And I think that also with that, there's a social aspect to movies. For example, the new Star Wars movie comes out next weekend, and yeah, I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing that with friends, and I'm seeing that with family. So I'm going to go see this movie, I'm going to experience it, and it's going to be great because I'm with people that care about me, that I care about them, and we're going to see this movie together, and we're going to go through the range of emotions that this movie will have, and by the time it ends, by the time the credits roll, we're going to be going crazy, and that's because we're seeing this movie together. The next thing is that films have the capacity to truly challenge an audience, and it kind of just leaves them thinking about the world around them. And so I think what people might not always realize is that movies basically embody the culture around us. You know, society is big, and it's all around us, and movies, they take that, they absorb that. They take the ideas, the mindsets, the beliefs, and basically movies adapt like we do. They tell stories based off what's happening. And I think writer Richard Brody said this in an article in the New Yorker. He said, "Culture is a matter of power, but art is a matter of beauty." And I really think that's a cool statement because it's true. Art is beauty. It's something that's reflective of people truly trying on something. But the thing is, culture and art go hand in hand with one another. These are two inseparable things, and they both shape each other together. Continuing, I think we also need to realize that art has kind of been the glue or kind of just the framework of basically various people and various cultures. And kind of like what I'm saying, art is what shapes culture. And movies right now are the expressive art that we choose to go to. They are the mainstream medium that society has learned to embrace. And the fact of the matter is they're not really going anywhere. And then lastly, I think film will continue to shape generations. Like I said, I don't think movies are going anywhere. And I think that movies, while like I said earlier, movies can kind of take what's happening in society and they can absorb that. I think movies can also shape a society. So think about Star Wars. Like I said earlier, everyone knows who Darth Vader is. Everyone knows who Luke Skywalker is. And this generation knows who they are too because the movies are still going. I think this is a really cool thing to think about. The fact is that these characters, they shape culture. These ideas, the balance of the force, the yin, the yang, all of that, they shape society. Writer Mark Browning says it perfectly. He says, "Whether we like it or not, our most profound thoughts and most intimate secrets are now constantly expressed and experienced via moving pictures on a screen, big and small." And he wrote this in the film catalog, this wonderful, wonderful, basically piece about movies and their relevance. And it's true. Our biggest secrets, our most intimate secrets, and our most profound thoughts, they're expressed in film. In movies, as we influence movies' ideas, movies will influence our ideas. And then also, kind of wrapping that up, I think Richard Brody, kind of going back to that New Yorker article, he says the possibility of making films independently on a low budget is greater than ever. And so that just says that movies are expanding, that people are making more and more movies, and there's tons of perspectives everywhere. And it's now, you don't just have to go to the theater to watch a movie. You can turn on your TV, you can open your laptop, you can go on your phone. Movies are everywhere, and people are making them everywhere. So, kind of in conclusion, I think when we begin to realize how tremendous movies are and their just the ability to transport the audience, to make an audience contemplate things, and for the fact that movies can basically shape a society, it's important that we talk about this. And it's important that